Welcome back to the Real Talk Podcast, episode 195. I'm your host, Nathan. I'm joined by the man himself, Matthew Neves, to my left.
Thank you.
And today we're going to be discussing the filmography of the great Tony Scott.
Tony Scott. We've been talking about him countless times on this podcast.
There's been so many Tony Scott mentions that is only a matter of time before we finally get to an episode about him.
Mhm.
And he absolutely deserves it. Maybe it's
Yeah.
not the first director you think of when you think of legendary directors,
Mhm.
but his filmography is just so fun.
Yeah, it
It's
really
one of the
is.
most fun filmographies ever. And I think it's one of the more rewatchable too.
I would say
Because
so,
these
yeah.
movies are I don't know, they're just like a good time, a good bit of them.
Yeah, because Tony Scott, for people that don't know, he was the brother of Ridley Scott.
Right.
And Ridley Scott started out in commercials just like Tony did. And his filmography started more in the 70s, Ridley Scott did. And whereas Tony Scott started in the 80s. So he was later in his career. He's the younger brother. And his first film right off the gate was The Hunger. And
Vampire flick.
dude, the fact that this was his feature debut, it stars David Bowie and Susan Sarandon and Catherine Deneuve. That Catherine Deneuve and David Bowie play vampires who basically like just kill people and lust for their blood or whatever.
Cool.
And you think like 80s vampire films, you think of Fright Night, you
Mhm.
think of those types of movies. This is like so out of like the style is so much different. It reminds me of like David Lynch at times with its chaotic editing, its experimental filmmaking and whatnot. But it looks like a Tony Scott film from the 80s. It looks like Top Gun. It looks like Beverly Hills Cop 2,
Right.
but just like really fucking weird. So taking that into play of it being his feature debut kind of showcases a lot of the techniques that he uses in his later filmography, especially like the slow motion frame rate
Mhm.
that he does, especially in his later filmography.
Oh, bro started spamming that.
Oh my god, he does it in this one, The Hunger. Yeah, because
Really?
there's like doves flying and stuff. There's like decaying bodies and
I
whatnot.
always thought that was a 90s style. Like, I always thought, like, when I see that, I think I'm
Mhm.
immediately like, this is a 90s or early 2000s movie.
Yeah, because like I think it's just his style or something that he really fucked with his whole career. But it's so cool seeing a film from the 80s that he did and seeing like, oh, he's still using the techniques from like Pelham 1, 2, 3 and like Unstoppable, like even in his
Right.
later career, which I think is really fucking cool. It's just more chaotic. He uses it more and more as his career goes on.
And Hunger, this is 1983.
Yeah.
3 years later, he's directing Top Gun, one of the biggest movies of all time.
That's what I mean. Like Bruckheimer and Don Simpson produced Top Gun. They must have seen The Hunger. And I'm
They
thinking,
had to have,
yeah.
right? Because what else did you see? You saw him direct a TV series or, like, some very small shorts that he did before that? Like, I'm looking at his credits now.
Yeah.
The Hunger is his first feature.
That's what I mean. But like in a producer a perspective, they watch The Hunger and they think to themselves, yeah, he's directing Top Gun. Like that is such a weird choice that I feel like not a whole lot of producers would look at. It's
Wouldn't
kind of
happen
like
now, yeah.
no, for real, it'd be like if Luca Guadagnino, the guy who directed Challengers, and then some producers like, you know what he should do? F1.
Yeah.
I'm like, "What?" But Top Gun fucking works. It's his most iconic film, I would say, from
Yeah.
Tony Scott.
It is kind of the apex mountain of his career from a box office standpoint and, like,
Mhm.
a I guess a critical standpoint. I mean, Top Gun, I wouldn't say it's, like, the most critically acclaimed movie, but it's just such a part of the lexicon, right? It's
Yeah.
just, like, one of the most well-known movies of all time
Mhm.
and y definitely a top 3 biggest movie of the '80s, which was
Absolutely.
the decade of the blockbuster, so
Yeah.
that's saying something, right?
This is the one that made Tom Cruise,
Yeah.
and it wouldn't have been that if not for Tony Scott's direction and, Jerry Bruckheimer and Don Simpson, taking a chance on not only the star, but the director,
Yeah.
you know? So, it's kind of a miracle that Top Gun even got made in the first place.
And I'm sure, Top Gun transforms Tony Scott's career overnight as far
Yeah,
as, like, director, notable director,
yeah.
and he stays hot. He follows that up with Beverly Hills Cop 2, man.
The best looking Beverly Hills Cop film by a mile.
Absolutely.
Dude, that movie looks so good.
Yeah, I agree. It's
It's not
it's
the
not the
best one.
greatest movie.
No,
We'll say that,
it's a little rough on the edges.
but it does look good.
Oh my god. That's what I mean. Like the one thing I would say is because the first Beverly Hills Cop is the best one,
Yeah,
and the cinematography left more to be desired, in my opinion.
I agree.
Whereas the sequel, Tony Scott's like, no, I'm gonna make this look fucking cinematic. Like Axel Foley and the police chief's office, backlit, so cinematic. I'm
Yeah,
like, fuck yeah,
backlit
man.
with the windows and everything.
So good.
It's dope. Beverly Hills Cop 2, a banger, a
Yep.
a, a good sequel.
Yeah, the
Like,
action's amazing too.
yeah,
Really, really good. Really good action.
super memorable sequel. And then after that, he directs a movie called Revenge, which I have not seen.
Oh, the Kevin Costner
The
one.
Kevin Costner one.
Yeah, he worked with Gene Hackman on is Gene Hackman in that one? I could be wrong, but I feel
Mm,
like he worked with Gene Hackman, a few times in his career.
no, I don't think Gene Hackman's in this one. John
My bad.
Leguizamo's in this one. Young John.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
an interesting cast here.
Really, really solid overall. My mistake. But yeah, Revenge comes out, and I think another film he starts making more films in the 90s, whereas the 80s was kind of
Yeah.
like his
So then 1990,
yeah.
he works with Tom Cruise again, and he does Days of Thunder, which I have seen,
Yeah?
and it's a bad NASCAR movie.
No!
I'm sorry. It's
Oh, no.
I'm gonna be so honest about it. I has a special place in my heart. For whatever reason, my grandmother had a VHS copy of Days of Thunder in her
Oh.
house.
Hmm.
My grandmother speaks zero English.
Yeah.
I don't know how it ended up in her house, but it was like, I don't know. There was like a Teletubbies VHS and there
No.
was Days of Thunder. So when I got when I got too grown for Teletubbies, I'm
Yep.
like, I guess I'll give this one a try. I know Tom
Okay.
Cruise.
Yeah.
I remember watching it and liking it enough. I actually just revisited it, and yeah, it's kind of a bad NASCAR movie.
I
The plot kind of sucks, but it's Tom Cruise being mentored by Robert Duvall. Robert
Oh.
Duvall is like you better listen to me
Yeah.
how to drive. You don't know shit about NASCAR.
Okay, fuck yeah.
You're burning them tires too quick.
Yeah.
And
That
he's given like Tom Cruise tough love and shit. And the car sequences for 1990 look
Yeah.
really, really impressive.
I always looked at Days of Thunder as like the Top Gun with cars.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like the producers were saying to themselves. They're like, "Oh, but we got Tony Scott back. We got Tom Cruise back. Let's just do it again, but with cars." And it's not as successful.
Yeah, because the
Because of that.
characters are it's just like so rushed. Like
Oh yeah.
the opening scene is like, yeah, we got this guy. Like let him like I can't even begin to explain this. Basically, there's like an established NASCAR driver, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna bring this guy to we're gonna let him test drive your car for one lap. And the guy's like, who the fuck is this guy?
Oh my God.
Because who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, yeah, he comes. He's like, yeah, you know, it's like the fucking trailer of F1, but like
Yeah.
way shittier.
Oh God.
You know, he comes from rally car racing or whatever the hell, and he comes into NASCAR, and all of a sudden he's this prodigy, but it doesn't feel earned at all.
It's so rushed that you're like, what the fuck is this?
It's like the car scenes are cool, but like I don't care about any of this. You know, John C. Riley's in that in 1990.
That's an
so
early one.
one of his earlier performances. He's like a kind of a side character in that. Which
Okay.
is pretty interesting.
Fuck yeah.
Days of Thunder is a
But-
cool movie. I love the poster. It's actually one of my favorite.
Oh,
posters.
it's so iconic.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great poster.
But not much else. other than
Cruise. They
that.
put bro. Top Gun was so fucking big.
Yeah.
They wrote Cruise bigger than the title of Days
Oh, yeah.
of Thunder. It's Cruise. It's Days of Thunder.
You know what the fuck you're watching. You're watching a Tom Cruise film. Boom. Just like that. Well, you know, it always felt like a copycat of Top Gun, just shittier and with cars. Right?
Yeah, I think they were trying to recreate something, and it just fell a little bit short. But it is a cult classic. A lot of people like Days of Thunder.
Oh yeah, I've heard some people talk about that.
After that, he goes to The Last Boy
I
Scout
fucking love this movie.
with Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans.
Yeah, man. It's also this is a movie written by Shane Black.
Shane Black.
So
that's
you're
right.
getting some good fucking lines from both of them, and it's got that like nice like chaotic type of editing with the main cast. You know, this duo is super underrated in my opinion. I think Bruce Willis
What an
Yeah.
interesting duo, Damon Wayans and Bruce Willis.
really solid. I think Halle Berry's in this too, really briefly. It's one of her earlier roles too. Yeah,
Damn, yeah, she is. I'm seeing a picture of her here.
Damn. Really
Wow.
solid film in my opinion. It gives the same vein as Long Kiss Goodnight type of thing.
Right. Okay.
So if you-
Yeah. Okay. I like that energy.
So
That's dope, and that's kind of an interesting turn for him. right?
Yeah, well, the thing I liked about Tony Scott as well is that he used other people's scripts that were really famous screenwriters. So we get Shane Black, he's directing a Shane Black script, and then literally 2 years after, he's doing a Tarantino script. His first Tarantino, I think this was his first script he did, True
You're
Romance.
absolutely right. He
And
wrote this while he was working at the video store,
yeah,
bro.
man.
Like,
Kinda shows I kinda fuck with it because the main character works at a video store. So it's
yeah,
a very
yeah, exactly. It's very meta. But True Romance is a banger. Like, I don't know how you feel about it.
it might be my favorite Tony Scott film.
Yeah, it's to me, it's like because you see the Tarantino, but
Mhm.
you also see Tony Scott,
Yeah.
and I think that's so cool. It's so unique to like see like two directors' DNA so
Yeah.
present in a film,
And it works.
and it works.
It's not like, interfering or anything like that. Personally, though, I kinda like the directing more than the writing in this case, because this is still Tarantino figuring out his way and stuff. I feel like Reservoir
Sure,
Dogs and Pulp Fiction are better scripts,
I do agree with that. Yeah,
but True Romance's direction, its vision, I feel like Tony Scott went all out, especially the climax where the shootout,
oh my
like,
god, it's
one of my
so
favorite shootouts.
it's just incredible.
All-star cast too, I always think of the fucking Dennis Hopper scene with Christopher Walken and him. You can't top that,
That's all time.
man.
It's actually one of the best scenes in film history.
He just smokes a cigarette. He's like, I know I'm gonna die, so I'm gonna tell you a story. Oh, and then that's the beauty of it is that he utilizes Tarantino's writing with that direction, with that performance.
Yeah, that scene or the watch up my ass scene. One's got to go.
Ooh. You know
Two
what?
iconic
I'm
Christopher
saying the True
Walken
Romance
scenes.
one. I'd take that over the watch scene because here's the thing: Pulp Fiction has way too many good scenes,
That's
and
true. That's not the best scene in Pulp Fiction, but it might be the best scene in this movie.
yes, absolutely.
But yeah,
Oh,
this cast is like insane, right?
yeah.
Like Brad Pitt is just like a casual side
It's just like a drugged out,
pot, yeah,
yeah,
pot
pothead.
smoker.
Yeah, Gandolfini's in it too, man. Like,
Yeah, that's crazy.
he's great in it too. Too many actors to count.
I've been watching some Gandolfini stuff lately, man. I saw The Drop.
Dude, I fucking love that. That's his last film he did before he passed away.
Drop rocks.
Tom Hardy and him are
Yeah.
so good in that. Oh
That's
my
a great one. And then I saw what's the one where he's the police or he's the mayor?
Oh, Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3. So I'm like, damn, I've been seeing a lot of Gandolfini lately.
He's so good.
And
He's so good.
yeah, I just wish he had a longer career in film after Sopranos because he
Yeah.
just kills every role.
I know. Yeah, for sure. But after True Romance, he starts collabing more with none other than Denzel Washington in Crimson Tide, first film together. I did not see this film unfortunately for the episode, but from what I've heard, Denzel and Gene Hackman, fucking stellar.
That sounds like a great duo.
Yeah.
And it's one of his most critically acclaimed ones as far as like reviews go.
Yeah.
It's one of the Vigo Mortensen is in that one.
Yeah.
He always has an interesting cast. James Gandolfini's in that one too.
He's in it too. Oh my god.
So that's really interesting that he has like a recurring cast of people that he works with,
Mhm.
but you don't really think about that as much as like other
No.
directors, you know?
No, it's never like a Scorsese De Niro scenario, but arguably Tony Scott and Denzel, the collabs that they did are fucking memorable. And they
Super
should be
memorable.
talked about more, especially like as the years go on. You look at how many films they did together.
So underrated.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this off camera, but like Denzel's career, it's like you guys all know you could be the most casual movie viewer.
Yeah.
You know a lot of Denzel movies. You can
Mhm.
name off 5 Denzel movies.
Right.
And just going deeper into Tony Scott's filmography and seeing how many films they've done together that were not on my radar.
Yeah.
Like Denzel's a worker, man.
He
Like
is.
he has a deep filmography.
Well, keep in mind too, like during this time when he was collabing with Tony Scott, he was also collabing with Spike Lee a lot.
Yeah.
So he's doing back-to-back directors that fucking love him and he loves working with them. So it's like, and on top of that, he's also working with other directors, other filmmakers on the side as well, because he just likes
This is the
doing this, man.
90s where he's doing stuff with Spike. He's doing
Mhm.
Training Day. He's doing he's working.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for real.
He's working. So I say that to say, if you're a Denzel fan and you've seen Training Day and you've seen American Gangster and you've seen, Malcolm X
Mhm.
and you want to go deeper, look no further than Tony Scott's filmography because there's some bangers that I promise you haven't seen one or two of these.
I love the interview I saw from him recently. I got recommended to it. Denzel was talking about Tony Scott. I think it was right after Tony Scott passed away. And he just had a big smile on his face, being like, I fucking love that guy, man. He's so nice. He's just one of the hardest workers, man. It's just rest in peace. And I'm like, fuck, he really, you could feel the energy of just like passion and love that he had for the guy. I'm just
Yeah.
like, fuck, man. Really,
Yeah,
really
that's
solid.
always awesome.
Yeah. The next film we watched, both of us saw it, Enemy of the State.
Which you said was
Okay, I found this out during the movie. This is an unofficial sequel to The Conversation.
absolutely is.
Holy fuck.
It absolutely is.
You know how I found out? I was watching the movie and it's like 3/4 of the way in. And I think it was John Voight's character. He's like
Yeah.
researching, he's like, who is this Gene Hackman guy? Who is Brill? He's like, we have his photo file, whatever. They show a picture of Gene Hackman in the 70s. I'm like, that's just The Conversation. He's just got the glasses in.
I was like, my mouth was on the floor. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, they're doing it.
I kind of fuck with that
Like,
though.
Tony Scott just loved The Conversation and wanted to make a modern version of it.
Yeah. I think that's great.
Is it as good as The Conversation? No.
No.
But it's good.
Yeah.
I really like it. Like, this is Will Smith 2 years after Fresh Prince ended.
Okay, he's really good in this.
This is not Will Smith, the movie star.
No.
This is Will Smith, the TV show star,
Mhm.
who just did Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
I was very impressed by him here.
Yeah. To me, he gives a better performance in this than like Independence Day and Men in Black. Men in Black, those movies are too blockbustery, whereas this one you actually see him like emote and like really give some good scenes in here.
Right.
Him talking about his wife and stuff. It's just like, yeah, that's fucking solid.
Right. And I always thought that, like, you know, a lot of Will stuff, like we're talking about Men in Black and stuff, like the 90s stuff was
Yeah.
kind of corny. And then he became a good actor in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
But that's not really the case. Like, I guess under the right direction and in the right
Mhm.
role,
Yeah.
he can act. And he's acting here with Gene Hackman.
Oh my God, they're so good together. Gene Hackman, he really is just playing the same character in Conversation because he's so bitter. He's like, get the fuck away from me, all this shit. And it's just like, if you look at the 20-year
Yeah.
span of him being isolated and being reclusive, it's just like, yeah, I could see him acting like that.
It just makes so much sense.
Yeah. It's kind of like watching The Rock and seeing Sean Connery and being like, yeah, that's James Bond, like 20, 30 years later. I'm like, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
fucking cool.
Enemy of the State rocks. Like,
Yeah.
this is one of the more fun.
Good cast too.
Great cast.
Holy
too.
shit, man.
Yeah, I was so happy to see John Voight. Regina King's in this movie.
Lisa Bonet's in it too.
Yeah.
Also, Jack Black, Seth Green, and Jamie Kennedy playing the nerdiest white guys in the 90s I've ever fucking seen.
Yeah, this cat. Jack Black is a real curveball. in this
Holy
movie, huh?
shit. Like, the movie's solid enough, but there are some moments where I'm like, okay, it's getting a little too stupid.
Oh, sure.
Like, I get the tech hacker environment of the 90s was a big thing at the time. And I understand Tony Scott was really into that when making this film, but like, there's some scenes where it's just like, oh, we 3D graphed the bag. Look, it's darker shade in the corner and stuff. I'm like, what the fuck is...
Yeah, anything, you know, 90s that's like tech, hacker, it's all going to age like milk.
Yeah, that's the worst part of
You
this
got to
film.
try to put yourself, absolutely, you got to try to put yourself in the time period, right? The Conversation doesn't age like milk because it's
No.
very analog.
Yeah.
The
and,
technology they're using is like, you know, analog.
and it's not as disjointed. I feel like this film, when it tried to bring in the mob and the tech guys, the CIA gets a little, you know, Conversation straightforward. Whereas this one's just
Yeah.
kind of like juggling so many things. And it's just like, I like these scenes, but it's getting a little out of focus.
Yeah, you're
Personally.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
And after that,
What do you think?
let's see.
Do you want to talk about Man on Fire?
I do want to talk about Man on Fire
Yeah.
because Man on Fire rocks.
Mhm.
Man on Fire is like probably his most like full blown action movie.
Yeah.
They really tried for John Wick.
Kind of,
Ki-
yeah.
You know, like that. It's of that essence with Denzel.
Yeah.
Again, it's got a fun cast too.
Mhm.
It's got Mickey Rourke. It's got
I
Christopher
know.
Walken.
I know.
It's got Denzel at his absolute peak in 2004.
Mm-hmm.
And some of Denzel's line deliveries in this movie are some of the best of his career.
Yeah.
He delivers some lines in Spanish that I'm like, how the
Yeah.
hell did you do that?
Mhm.
I love, man. And visually, the fire stuff, like the poster
Yeah.
is iconic.
No, it goes hard.
It's an iconic Denzel poster, one of his
Mhm.
best.
Yeah.
And visually, this movie looks amazing.
This is the birth of, like, Tony Scott being like, "Okay, my style that I've kind of changed or tried my whole life, I'm gonna crank it to 11 now.
Yeah, yeah, you're
This is
absolutely
it.
right.
This is the one." And I'm I'm not a huge fan of the movie as much as his later films. I think it suffers from everyone fucking dies in the end, and I'm just like, "Oh, well,
Yeah,
I guess."
it doesn't quite leave you satisfied, I'd say.
Yeah,
But
but
man,
there are some good fucking moments in it.
Denzel could just take me on any ride. I'm just like, all right, I'm in. Like whatever,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Mhm.
After Man on Fire,
He does some interesting ones. I always think of Domino. I saw the trailer for that. I didn't watch the movie because it
Mhm.
looked a little too much for me. It's like he cranked his editing to like not 11, but like 20.
Right.
And it's like Mickey Rourke's in it. Keira Knightley plays this assassin named Domino, and it's just it. Oh my god!
Delroy Lindo's in that one. Shout out to Delroy.
Oh yeah, I think he
from
plays
Sinners.
another assassin too. But like there are some clips in it where I'm just like, this is too fast for me.
Yeah, this does not look. The poster fucking sucks. Too.
It's so bad.
I don't know how Tony Scott could have some of the best posters to ever exist in film and some of the most dog shit.
Like Domino looks like a so bad it's good type of Tony Scott flick
Yeah.
that I may watch in the future, but I kind of skipped that one to watch other ones.
For sure. I did see Deja Vu.
What did you think of that?
It's another one where it's like if
Oh.
it wasn't Denzel, I would have hated it.
Oh man. I always think about that too with a lot of these Tony Scott films, especially his Deja Vu and Pelham 123. It's like if Michael Bay was competent.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm
yeah.
serious cuz like a lot of these shots like I love his coverage. His like when he's talking to two people are talking
Yeah.
whatever, he has a close up on one guy, close up on the other, but he also has a little dolly
Yes.
following them. I'm like that brings a little livelihood to this scene instead of just the basic static shot. Which I really fuck with. I'm glad that he did that because a lot of his coverage is just so fucking refreshing. Even in his first film, The Hunger, he does that with the
Yeah,
coverage. I'm like,
wow.
fucking beautiful. He does a foreground shot where like two people are having dinner, same coverage, but there's like a wall in between them. So when he's doing the back and forth, you see that, and there's a lot more range that way. There's a lot more dynamic
Right.
range.
That's cool.
So
Val Kilmer's in that one too.
Deja Vu?
Yeah, and
Is he
Deja
good?
Vu. Yeah, he's good.
Okay, fuck yeah.
He's good, and you get some interaction, with Denzel and stuff, and that's cool. Val Kilmer and Denzel.
Yeah,
It's
man.
pretty dope.
Underrated collab.
But it's kind of it's not the first one I'd go to.
fair enough. Fair enough.
And then after that, there's not many more movies left. To be quite honest with you, we have the
Taking a
the
Pelham
Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3,
and Unstoppable.
which we both saw
Yeah.
for this episode.
Let's talk about that movie.
This movie fucking rocks.
What the fuck, man?
6.4 on IMDb is a crime.
It has like a 50 on Rotten Tomatoes. That's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit.
Like, I get that this is a remake of a 70s movie,
yeah, but
and everyone's, they're like, oh, the original
original's
is better.
better,
Why
yeah.
make this movie? Why make it? Because you have fucking John Travolta and Denzel Washington.
like if you watch the original from the clips I've seen,
Yeah.
this is a whole other beast.
Oh,
This is like taking a
Style,
Pelham 123 on
pacing.
cocaine.
absolutely.
That's what you got to look at it as. And in that regard, it's perfect. My favorite scene in this film, I had my jaw dropped when I saw it. It's the part where he's like talking to John Turturro. It's like, we're going on the line. We're going on the fucking line. And he's got the gun on the guy. And John Turturro's like, you need to calm down. I'm the professional here. And then he just looks at the conductor and he's just like, you were going to be the first one to go. And he just pops him. I'm like, ooh, dolly zoom.
He's so unhinged.
I loved it, man. It's so good.
John Travolta kills it. Like,
Yeah.
this is one of the great John Travolta performances.
It's so overlooked, man.
like, how have I not seen this movie earlier? How is this movie not talked about more?
I don't know.
I love a good heist movie.
Yeah.
I get it's not even really a heist movie. It's more of like a hostage film.
Yeah, it's a one location type of movie, which I really
Right.
fuck with. Simplicity at its finest.
In a subway, which is pretty
Mhm.
unique. And bro, I don't know, I'm just in. I was in from the beginning because they start with the subway early.
Yeah,
It like
right off the bat.
opens the movie.
I love that.
with this hostage scenario, and you're like, oh shit, we're starting here.
Yeah.
We're gonna be here the whole time.
It's
How are
so
they
good.
gonna pull this off? And
The one complaint I would say about it, and this is a CinemaSins nitpick, is Denzel's character. I love Garber in like the first 3 quarters of the movie. And then once he escapes and tries to look for Travolta, I'm like, wait a minute, you're a conductor. Why do you're acting like Gene Hackman in like the
yeah,
French Connection. You're just a conductor.
yeah,
But we need that scene. And I'm like, I can
I get it. We need that
push it
scene,
under the rug.
but it is better. Like their chemistry is better when they're on the phone together
Oh yeah.
than it
So much
is
better.
when they're in person.
Yeah.
And that's saying something. That's impressive. First of all, Garber, one of the best names in film history. I absolutely love
Man.
Garber.
It's great. It's fucking great. Travolta's great. I love his final line. You're my goddamn hero.
Oh my god, that payoff was really good.
That was good.
Because that's the whole thing, right? I'm watching the movie. It's coming to a close. I'm thinking, how are they going to end this?
I know.
Because they could end this in a way that's going to piss me off and
Mhm.
make me not like this movie.
Yeah.
And they didn't.
No.
They give you an iconic short monologue from Travolta,
Mm-hmm.
iconic last line.
Yep.
Such a great end scene.
Loved it.
Very satisfying.
Really solid. And then he does one film after this, Unstoppable. And I think, you know, what's really sad is the fact that, like, after Unstoppable, 2 years afterwards, he passes away. He kills himself in 2012.
Yeah.
So Tony Scott's legacy at this point is kind of like he never got to see how much appreciation he got later in his life. Because I feel like a lot of these films, like, they did okay at the box office, but like not a whole
Yeah.
lot of people, like you said, bring it up or even brought it up when they came out.
Yeah.
So I'm glad, like, you know, we're talking about these films despite them being 15 years, 16 years old. They're still fucking fresh and really entertaining.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that is because, not because he was the most critically acclaimed, but because he built great relationships.
Yes.
And these actors, time and time again, wanted to work with him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why even his last 4 films
Yeah.
have stacked casts.
Absolutely. Really, really solid, man. I also love an Unstoppable. I'd recommend those films too. Really, really solid.
Oh, absolutely. Unstoppable, Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Mhm.
Those are the most underrated in his filmography.
Yeah.
You said your favorite is? It's a
tie between True Romance and The Hunger because I really love The Hunger too. I'd recommend both.
yeah, absolutely. I think True Romance for me,
Hell
but
yeah.
Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3 has just been on my mind. Like, go
Yes.
see that one. Rest in peace to the great Tony Scott. So glad we finally got to do this episode, and hopefully we could put you on a Tony Scott film that you haven't seen.
Absolutely.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Real Talk Podcast. Leave a like, subscribe to your boys. It means the world to us. And most importantly, don't forget to take care and brush your hair.
Peace.